Point Breeze Avenue it's basically a wasteland. There are so many shuttered businesses and so many empty buildings down there, and there are very basic things that people in the community need that don't exist there. My name's Steve Sabo. I'm the Executive Director of the Point Breeze CDC. I've lived in Point Breeze, in fact on this block, for the last 6 years. The goals of the CDC basically are to help stimulate development on Point Breeze Avenue. There needs to be a rezoning of Point Breeze Avenue. You'd be hard pressed to start a business, whether it's a restaurant or anything else, without having rental units above your business. And the way it's zoned now, you can't build high enough to be able to provide enough, or to have enough rental units to I guess, fill in for your regular business. But until the neighborhood becomes really dense enough to support your business on its own, you need additional income. As far as residentially goes, it's going to look completely different. Point Breeze is a rapidly developing community. It's becoming more dense. There's a lot more people than there were, especially when I moved in a few years ago. Just as an example, I mean, there are 22 new homes that are going to be down at 20th and Wharton, on a piece of land that was once a tannery, giant warehouse. So the residential development is going to continue to grow. If you apply for a zoning variance on any of these buildings, it has to go before the coordinating RCO. Normally there's a meeting, which sometimes turns into more of a shouting match, and they often cite parking, density. It could go on and on and on. I mean, anything just for the sake of not having something new in the neighborhood. Why they do that, I don't know. I mean, you would probably have to ask the people who are more anti-development than the people like myself who are more pro-development. A lot of it comes down to misinformation. Some of the vocal minority have been misinformed that by the neighborhood developing, by more people moving into the neighborhood, by more houses being built in the neighborhood, that longtime residents are going to be forced out of their neighborhood. What the longtime homeowning residents haven't been told is that if your property taxes are going up, it also means that the value of your property is going up. So you're sitting on more money, your home is worth more money, and it's just beneficial to everyone. If somebody doesn't like the way the neighborhood is changing, there's always the option of cashing out. That's one. The other one is just take advantage of the fact that your house is worth more money. You may have wanted to do certain repairs to your home or certain home improvements that perhaps in the past you couldn't do. Now with the increased value of your home, it might be a little bit easier to get a home equity loan, for example. I guess to some is still considered a newer resident, even though I've been here 6 years. One thing that I can tell everyone is that I think the people moving into this neighborhood want a lot of the same things that the long-term residents, or long-time residents rather, want. I want a safe neighborhood. I want a clean neighborhood. I want a friendly neighborhood. I don't want there to be tension between long-time residents, newer residents. There are still racial issues in the neighborhood, and I would love nothing more than for that to not be an issue. I think people are just more alike than people might think. We may look different, we may talk different, but when it comes down to it, I mean, it may sound cliche, but really we're all just people, and we just want to live a happy, peaceful, safe existence.